What can Estonia do to support Ukraine? Ukraine's place in the European Union and NATO. The promise of European membership cannot remain just on paper. Estonia supports the swift opening of all clusters in the negotiations between Ukraine and the EU about accession. This needs to happen this summer, now in June, because there are no more obstacles. For the people of Ukraine, membership in the European Union and NATO is not some distant hope, but a rightful expectation.
Recently, especially in the last few months, Baltic countries have been seeing drone attacks in their skies. And this is becoming a new reality for us as well, silently. Somehow affects and influences our public opinion and our sense of security. And not only the citizens of Estonia, but also the citizens of Ukraine, who are here temporarily or permanently, in to live here. Does Ukraine plan to do something about it and attack Russian infrastructure without passing through our airspace?
Thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. First of all, Ukraine will continue to respond to any strikes by the Russian Federation and to apply its rightful long-range sanctions. Undoubtedly, we understand what Russia is doing. It wants to escalate relations within the European Union. For example, when we respond to various Russian strikes, and if in the skies of Latvia, Lithuania, a Russian drone appears over Estonia, it is clear why. And when a Ukrainian drone appears, we understand that they can alter the course of our drones. This is not widespread. There have been isolated cases thanks to electronic warfare systems. What is needed for this? For this, we started working. We already have experience of such work with countries of the Middle East. We sent our expert groups. They trained and demonstrated what to do. And these are quite fast and strong solutions. We did this in the Middle East, and it worked. Now we are ready to do the same with our close partners in Europe. We are ready for this. We can act on it thanks to the fast track. This is called Drone Deal. Drone Deal is not just about selling something or purchasing something. It's about important things, even those we are discussing with you right now. Therefore, we are ready at any moment to send our export groups. And we are already doing this, and will continue to do so with our close partners. Partners. Here, I cannot tell you all the details, but I believe that this is one of the solutions.
My question concerns the peace negotiations with Russia. How do you see this peace process? If you are in a strong position, you can block Crimea, then you will have a stronger position. What do you think is going on?
The ideal solution in peace negotiations is to end the war urgently. At least make the first step, and a complete cessation, an unconditional complete cessation of hostilities is important. And then let the diplomats do what they were trained to do, as they say in Ukraine. They sit down, negotiate. It's technical work. Besides the technical work, there are many experts, professional people. So the cessation of hostilities is also a complex process. Today we talked about this with the President. You can't just say today that there is a ceasefire and have it working by tomorrow. Yes, it's a will and a decision. But today we are not simply standing like this with the enemy. There are kill zones of 20, 30, 40 kilometers. And these kill zones, they increase with the development of drone technologies. And in this zone, for example, a 20-kilometer one, somewhere on our temporary contact line. And these kill zones, they vary in distance. Let's imagine that tomorrow, ceasefire. We perfectly understand what Russia will do. If we don't have guarantors, monitoring of the ceasefire, Russia will take advantage of the fact that the kill zone is no longer a kill zone. because there is a ceasefire, and they will come 20 kilometers closer. In some parts of Ukraine, this is a great risk. That is why we say, no conditions ceasefire. Here are the guarantors, those who are at the negotiations. What you mentioned, and they, please, bring in your monitors for the new mission and oversee the actual ceasefire. And we are very grateful to them for such willingness. I believe that this is the first point of the ceasefire, as I have told you, which is inherently very technologically complex. And this is the first step, while the other steps, and the map of how to end the war, all of this, let the diplomats work. In order for the ceasefire to be, in my opinion, better, there should be a meeting at the level of leaders, who, certainly and definitely Europe. It's desirable that Europe is involved, and the USA. Why Europe? Because we are in Europe. That's the answer. You are now giving examples yourself of other countries suffering due to various cases of drones, etc. Because this is where we are, this is our land, this is our continent. We must be sure that tomorrow will be safe in any case. Therefore, these countries must negotiate with this. First, an important step. Ukraine has the will for all this. We'll see if Russia has such a will. So far, they have not demonstrated it.
First, the question of drones. Ukraine has expertise, as we could see during our military exercises in the spring. But what could happen next? We showed that we can shoot down drones with aircraft, but fighters expensive. So we need to find a way to utilize Ukraine's expertise. These technologies and this possibility, it's important to bring them here, but of course, since they are at war, it is very likely that these incidents will continue to happen. And this needs to be taken into account. And our people need to remain calm when we know that certain drones are lost and end up on our territory. Secondly, regarding the question about peace negotiations, Europe must be involved, as Ukraine wants. And if Ukraine wants us to be at the table, then Europe and Russia must be there. But if the USA joins us, that would be good as well. However, there will be no separate negotiations without all parties of the conflict. But this means that we have to prepare for all of this starting today. Be ready for this moment, because it is quite likely that there will be a window of opportunity this summer. Therefore, we can put pressure on Russia, use diplomatic channels, so that Russia also sits at the table, end the war, because the goal is to end the war.